Hey everyone, Huston here. I got another Power Rangers Super Megaforce review for you today. This is the Operation Overdrive Cycle and Red Ranger. So this is from the toy line. This cycle is not from the show at all. It is made specifically for the toys because there was no Zord for Super Megaforce representing Operation Overdrive. So they decided to make a cycle out of it. And they've done this for a bunch of other seasons. They did Lost Galaxy, Lightspeed Rescue, and Time Force. And now they've released Turbo, Operation Overdrive, and Jungle Fury. So a bunch of different cycles, and they're all pretty neat. So we'll take a look at them. So this, since it's the Operation Overdrive cycle, it comes with an Operation Overdrive Red Ranger key, which looks pretty cool. So we'll take a look at that. On the side, tells you about scanning the keys and entering the sweepstakes. You got your barcode and everything on the bottom. Typical packaging for the cycles, nothing really surprising there. On the back, you have some fantastic artwork of the cycles. I really do love this original artwork. This would make a great poster. I think it looks awesome. So there's that. You have the drill you see right there. That's from this Operation Overdrive cycle, which we will take a look at. And what you can do is you can rev up the cycles, and you enter the Ranger key, and turn it, and zoom, off it goes. So that is that. And I'll show you how you can actually combine it with the Megazord as well for all sorts of fun combinations there. So that's that. Let's get this guy opened up and we shall take a look. Alright, I got the Operation Overdrive cycle out of the box. Here it is right here. It looks pretty cool. Let's get the packaging out of the way and we shall take a look. First up, the Operation Overdrive Ranger key. Pretty cool looking. I really do like the silver. It really like stands out. It's really sweet looking. So yeah, really cool Ranger key. Here is the QR code if anybody wants to scan that. Now there was an Operation Overdrive Ranger key pack, so we do actually have another version of the Overdrive Ranger key. So this is the one from the cycle, and on the left here is the one from the Ranger key pack. So you have two to kind of compare with there. Let's see, in terms of differences, they're quite similar. The chest pieces look basically the same to me. My Ranger Key Pack one has a couple of small little dents on it. There's some scratches of paint, I guess. So that's what that is. I guess the shoulder piece is slightly larger on the Cycle one. The helmet, though, I mean, looks basically the same. Although the paint looks kind of slightly off on the Cycle one. You know, this one actually really just does not have much differences. You know, it really, I'm looking at it and I can't really see much differences there. Most of the other Ranger keys have some minor differences. The Turbo one had some decent differences though. But this one really not much different there. So that's kind of, you know, if you wanted to collect the Ranger keys, now you know they're actually quite similar, really. So not too much different going on there. So that is that. Trying to just make sure, yeah, nothing else really. All right, so there we go. So here's the one from the cycle, and I also have the Japanese Ranger key for comparison as well. I think the Japanese one looks kind of odd, the helmet. It just seems the proportions of it are just kind of a little weird. But everything else is not really too different, as you can see. Just obviously this one is taller, so the body proportions are just going to be, you know, a little bit different just because. But other than that, not really much different there. So the other thing that we can do, of course, is we can use this in the Legendary Morpher for a special sound of the season name here. So let's listen to that. So here we go.
Operation Overdrive.
All right, so it says Operation Overdrive, and then we'll do it again. The familiar communicator beep, of course. So that is that. On to the scanner app as well. So let's get that here. Turn the sound on. And let's scan this Ranger key. Alright, let's morph into the Operation Overdrive Red Ranger. Overdrive, accelerate.
It's morphin' time!
And now I'm the Overdrive Red Ranger.
Operation Overdrive. Red.
Alright, pretty cool, pretty cool. He's got the Sentinel Knight Sword thing right there, so that's pretty interesting. We'll go to the key collection, and let's find Overdrive. Scroll down, up, go up a little. There's Red Overdrive Ranger right there in the middle. So we'll click on him, and you can see that as well. So, pretty cool, pretty cool. Alright, so that is the key right here in the Morpher and the Scanner app. In terms of what it does with the cycle, any key will work, so that doesn't change anything. So let me just show you that right now. So you just pull this back and it revs up, and then it starts to click, and that's when you know when to stop. And you can basically take the Ranger key and you put it in the slot in the back, and when you twist it, the cycle moves. So let go, and there it goes. So, oops, focus, there we go. So it actually has a decent range. I'm not really going to show it in this video, but if you go back to my last review of the Turbo Cycle, I showed it on my ping pong table and actually went pretty much the length of the ping pong table and then zoomed right off. So it actually is a pretty decent range when you actually use the Ranger key to rev it up and do that. So that's actually pretty cool. I do like that. But here it is, right here. Here's the cycle. And I'll take away the Super Megaforce Red Ranger that it comes with, just to kind of take a look at it. It's pretty terrible. Like all the other figures with the cycles, it is stuck in this little permanent sitting position. The articulation is just this circular movement of the arm, and it lacks a ton of paint. This is actually the exact same figure that came with the Lost Galaxy cycle. So now I have two of these terrible looking Red Ranger figures. I suppose they'll look better if you paint them, but as is, they're pretty terrible. So it's the exact same one that came with the Lost Galaxy cycle, because the Lost Galaxy cycle was also red, so they kind of color coordinated that stuff, I suppose. But there's that. I'm going to put them aside because it's pretty terrible looking. But here is the actual cycle. And it looks kind of neat, I suppose. It's got an interesting color scheme, mostly gold. Although the gold they used is not really a shiny gold, which if it was a shiny gold, it would look fantastic, I think. But it's a dull kind of a gold color, which I guess looks okay. It kind of fits in with like the darker red and everything they used. But they used some silver paint here, which looks nice. I would have preferred something shinier. I like shiny, but as is, it's still not bad. The drill does not rotate or do anything, so would have been cool to like put in a Ranger key and it like starts spinning or something, but I guess they wanted the same gimmick for all the cycles. Because really with the cycles, they have the exact same body for all 6 cycles. It's just different paint. The only thing that's different is this piece that comes off, which is this little weapon piece here. And this piece you can use kind of with the 5-inch figures. So like if I grab one of the 5-inch figures here, if I can get him to kind of, his hand's not really going to hold on to anything inside, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you got to force it, there we go. So I can get him to kind of hold it inside there, and it becomes this little drill weapon, which is pretty cool, you know? So you actually have like a little drill weapon. So that part of it is actually neat, to have additional accessories for the Ranger figures there. But as is, the cycles themselves are the exact same across the board, just different color schemes and different weapons here to represent the seasons. So this being Operation Overdrive. So that's kind of neat. I do like the drill that they have there. Let's get this thing to connect back on. Ooh, ow. You just gotta stick it on there. There we go. It just kind of clicks on. But yeah, overall, I think it looks pretty decent. You know, I think they're pretty cool. I like the idea of making these cycles for the seasons that didn't have Zords represented in Super Megaforce. I think that's pretty neat. But the other great thing about it is they have ZordBuilder functionality. So there's ZordBuilder port right there and right there. So what you can actually do, and I'm going to demonstrate this with the, whatchamacallit, the Turbo Falcon Megazord right here, since that's got a lot of red on it. You know, we'll kind of see what that looks like. So, alright, here's what we're going to do, is you can basically Actually, is this really going to work as well with the Turbo Falcon? Now that I think about it, you're only going to really have the torso part of it. Never mind. You can if you want, but just to kind of give you a better idea of the functionality, I'm going to stick with the Legendary Megazord as the box shows, just to kind of make it simpler. But you can do it if you wanted to. So, we can attach this as one of the legs here, and I'll grab the Lost Galaxy Cycle and stick that on there as well. So, there you have that. So, I tried this with my other reviews before, and you can rev up the cycles and twist the Ranger keys. It doesn't really move on its own, but if you kind of give it a little push, it moves a little bit. It's just the weight of this upper piece kind of hinders the cycles from zooming off using the revving functionality with the Ranger keys. But other than that, I guess it's neat to have that ZordBuilder functionality there. I think that looks kind of interesting, you know? But the real interesting part, for me personally at least, is using them as arms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the Legendary Megazord's arms, and the cycles have the ZordBuilder ports right there. So I'll do that, and I'm actually, this time I'm going to grab the Turbo Cycle, since that's also a new one right here. So there you go. There you have the Legendary Megazord with all sorts of cycles right there, which looks pretty interesting. So, I think this color scheme kind of fits in well. The red pieces at least fit in well with the Legendary Megazord, and he has some gold on it, so it actually blends in pretty nicely there with this Megazord. Actually, it looks pretty cool. And these oversized arms seem really odd at first, but it's still kind of neat to have that added ZordBuilder functionality, which is a nice little feature there. But yeah, that's that really. The cycles, there's not much more to it. You have ZordBuilder functionality, you have the Ranger key little gimmick there to rev them up and zoom them off, and you have the little weapon there to use with the Ranger figures, which is pretty neat. So that's that. If you guys have any questions, please post them in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Lots more reviews on the way, including the Jungle Fury Cycle. Ooh, Jungle Fury right there. So that one's coming up as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys later.